I'm getting Sonic Universe for my birthday, everybody, on Deep Dive Zone, a Sonic review series for fans of all shapes and sizes. I'm your host, Evan, joined as always by my co-hosts, Lauren and Bruce, and today we are continuing with Archie's Sonic the Hedgehog. We are recording this episode on May the 15th, my 27th birthday, and,
Damn, you're old.
yeah, I'm Gordon Freeman age now.
That's true. Wow.
I didn't realize that. Huh, interesting.
Although, frankly, it's really weird that Gordon Freeman is as young as he is in that game, but anyway, we are continuing off of last week, which began, or rather, I guess technically even the week before this started this whole Scourge battle plotline.
Yeah.
And we are wrapping it up this week with, some interesting writing premises.
Could say that.
We are beginning here with Sonic the Hedgehog number 195, and there are 6 hedgehogs and 1 robot hedgehog on this cover.
Too many damn hedgehogs.
Yeah, that's true. Funny thing about this issue. So when I was in school, I randomly read this issue completely out of context because a classmate had it. And I had a few of the archives issues, so I was familiar with the Sonic comics from that, but I knew nothing about what was current at the time. So reading this, I was like, what the heck is going on? Turns out this is actually just as incomprehensible in context, kind of.
A little bit.
I mean, I think that's the universal Archie Sonic experience for someone who grew up in the 2000s, is finding the archives books or something from the 90s and then finding something modern and being like, oh, they've rebooted all this stuff and made some new version. No, it's the same continuity.
No. Yeah, it's just incomprehensible.
Well, I don't know if that's the right word for it. This issue is very silly. The story here is called Hedgehog Havoc, Part 1. It is written by Flynn, drawn by Yardley. The fight at Moebius's Castle Acorn takes a turn for the confusing as a whole pack of hedgehogs are engaged in combat without being fully certain who or why they're fighting.
What is a group of hedgehogs called?
I have no idea.
It is a prickle.
Oh my gosh, okay. That's amazing.
Well, hey, we don't have to worry about Josh Ray having bland colors anymore. We have replaced him with Matt Herms, and he will continue to both be a colorist and improve on color work, although I think he's pretty decent here. They're a little washed out, but they're more dynamic.
Yeah, I don't mind washed out colors.
Yeah. But Nicole and Chuck are recapping Sonic's parents on what's going on. I'm not sure why them and why now.
It's just like a recap for the readers, basically.
Yeah.
I guess.
The beginning of another two-parter, I suppose. I don't know. These first 2 pages are kind of superfluous, but it's kind of cute to see Sonic's parents concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've always liked them, so it's fine. But yes, meanwhile, back at the battle, Rosie is very happy to have her favorite toy back. And that's a good distraction for the heroes, because she'll be busy with him. He has to be busy avoiding her, so Sonic and Amy can focus on getting better things, help getting out of here. I don't know.
Amy summons another hammer, so I guess they do have infinite hammers even here.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. The Omega Mech.
There.
The Omega Mech is all smashed up, but Buns has a failsafe to escape. So so long. She was cool for this arc.
Yeah.
They're not a hedgehog, so they have to leave for now.
Apparently. And we cut back to Eggman, who his last Metal Sonic got smashed up, so now he's making another new one instead of something maybe more important.
Well, this is not just another thing in the line of showing that Eggman's losing it. He's starting to lose the plot.
Yeah, No, go ahead.
Sorry, you go. Okay. Honestly, now that I've read all 5 of these issues, I see that's what they're going for.
Yeah.
That actually was not obvious to me at the time.
So I started thinking that last week. That's why I immediately went to that here. It's less so here, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't notice it until it got very explicit.
No, that's definitely fair.
It kind of just seemed like the way they operated, because they even they showed behavior like this even before their crippling defeat after they almost won, which I feel like was supposed to be the trigger for it, even though I don't know.
He's losing a little bit of his composure. I would say when I first read this, it wasn't immediately obvious to me, but you can also see that they're setting up background stuff. So when you know that we're heading for a milestone issue, the fact that Eggman is slipping a little bit becomes like a little more obvious.
Important. Right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but he is rebuilding Metal Sonic, this time with an interdimensional engine.
I instantly knew why this had to be the case because of other stuff we read.
Yep. I immediately was like, okay, this A and B is going together.
Well, and the engine model names make it very obvious, because the regular one is called STH-25, the first issue where Metal Sonic showed up, and the new one is called SXSU-40I.
Haha, very funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Snively he's just going through the motions. He doesn't really care. He's busy thinking about his internet friend.
Right.
So I guess he has better luck with dating apps than me, but, as soon as Metal Sonic is finished, he instantly teleports out to find Sonic, which is not what they asked him to do.
You know, it really makes no sense, logically speaking, why so many of Eggman's creations, like, don't listen to them. Like, I kind of just accept it because it's just a thing that happens in all continuities. Yeah. But I wish they'd explain it. Like, it's just weird.
The impression I got this time was Eggman didn't change his default programming before rebuilding him, so he was just defaulting back to his default programming, which is to hunt down Sonic.
I guess.
Something like that.
So strange here.
Yeah. Anywho, so last time we ended with Silver the Hedgehog randomly showing up near Robbo the Hedge and Marianne. That's her name. Of course, because it's a Robin Hood thing.
Yeah.
And now we see that.
So something a little strange. I don't know why they did this. All of Silver's speech bubbles are outlined.
I noticed that
in like blue. I don't know why. Just Silver, like no one else.
He's talking with psychic power.
Well, that's what I would normally think. It's showing that he's talking with his mind, but you can clearly see he's moving his mouth.
Yeah, well, and it's not like they ever do anything. You can see
his mouth open.
Well, and it's not like that is ever a significant thing about him in the games or whatever. I don't know. I guess they just thought it would look cool.
I guess it's a way when text bubbles start. Well, we're not having it too much of an issue of too many text bubbles on screen one, but I guess that's one way to differentiate who's talking.
So that would be cool. I'd like that. But they don't do that with the other characters. Like it would make sense for like other important characters maybe to do that as well, but it's just Silver in particular.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that's the reason. It's just like that would be the reason I would personally do it, but I do that for everyone.
And it's extra strange because spoilers, Silver doesn't even do a whole lot here.
Not particularly.
Yeah, it's odd. It doesn't super matter, but yeah, it's weird. Anyway, Silver has brought back a warp ring with him.
Everyone gets warp rings.
Yeah, they're just giving out like candy now.
Well, he's from the future. Maybe they can get them there easily.
Yeah, fair enough, actually, yeah.
But he wants to find Sonic, and Robbo happens to know, and, well, you know, they're very, they're awfully willing to point him in the direction of Freedom HQ, which is not necessarily a problem, but, they don't know his full intentions.
Right.
Which I guess is parallel with Sonic 06, but,
fair enough, yeah.
They walk right in between Sally and Alicia arguing about them stranding Sonic and Amy in their world. The warp ring pushing them both aside is a good panel.
This is funny because I was like, wow, the suppression squad could have so easily like gotten rid of Scourge for good, but like the way they're talking here, it's like they actually thought that was a good idea, and like the Freedom Fighters wouldn't care about getting rid of Sonic as well.
And
like,
Amy.
They're such
and Amy,
I don't. Well, if they had worked together, including Sonic, they could have just sent Scourge to the fucking cheese grater dimension, you know? So it's like, yeah.
I feel like there's an unwritten rule in most fiction. You can't just like teleport someone into death instantly. Like that's just you can't do that. That's
I mean, it's a lazy writing decision most of the time. So anyway, They briefly explain to Robbo what's going on, but they really don't waste any time before Silver heads for Moebius.
And somehow Silver knows about Moebius. Like this plot is moving at a rapid pace,
Yeah.
just exactly the way the writers want it to. Because like Silver just so happens to show up in front of Robbo, who follows them for no reason, and then they just so happen to show up in the middle of all this, and then they tell Silver where to go next, and Silver already knows where Moebius is. Like, wow, okay, this is just happening.
So I know from future issues that Silver basically studies the history of some of the stuff that went on with the Freedom Fighters, so it's not impossible that he know about Moebius. The fact that he does is kind of surprising me, and I didn't really think about that when reading, because there's never any reference to him having read about the anti-Freedom Fighters such and such. So yeah, it's weird. Anyway, they're gonna try and start up the Star Posts again to go get Sonic, but the Suppression Squad are still like trying to stall them and say like, oh, just give him time for Scourge to be dead. But we don't have time for that either, because Sonic and Scourge are indeed fighting, but before their final hit, Shadow randomly warps in.
More hedgehogs, more hedgehogs.
Oh my gosh.
He
Never
comes
too many
here.
fucking hedgehogs.
He comes here by complete accident because he was apparently trying to chaos control into the special zone.
I mean, this is a very special zone, I guess.
This is a special zone.
Well, so, I mean, this is part of, like, my headcanon as to how Blaze got into Sonic 06, is that she was aiming for Sonic's world and missed, but, having that represented textually is definitely weird, and it's definitely, I think this was the point where I was like, okay, they're doing a contrivance to get as many fucking hedgehogs on screen as possible.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I can't get ahead of myself, but yes, that's what they're doing.
Yeah. And Sonic very briefly explains to him, yeah, Scourge is king now. Anyway, want to help beat him up? And I do like that panel where he's just like, okay.
Archie Shadow is so friendly.
He really is.
Anyway,
Like,
then Metal
don't they
Sonic
have other
shows up.
things they have to be doing? Oh yeah, okay, here's Metal Sonic. Yeah, we can't dwell on it because there's just too much going on.
There's so much going on.
Yeah, it's a lot. I was really hoping, Scourge says no Metal Scourge, I'm insulted. I was really hoping they would throw Metal Scourge in here too, just for the sake of
Metal
it being...
Scourge just appeared out of nowhere.
Metal Sonic brought him with him. No,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so silly. Because then Silver and Robbo show up, and it's like, come on. It's like, okay. Silver choosing now to show up is, whatever. 06 was years old at this point. Robbo is really pushing it because it's totally random that Silver is there. But at least, we need someone to get Silver to Freedom HQ's connection to Amy is enough to do things. Shadow has had nothing to do with the story up to this point. They
needed the original Faker, I guess. Well,
oh my gosh, I'm realizing. This is why Sonic's parents are in this issue, just to say that they had every single fucking hedgehog with a name in there.
God.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
His parents,
it all makes sense.
Uncle Chuck, yeah.
So when Silver arrives on the scene, they say, wow, this doesn't really change at all. Which doesn't imply that they read about Moebius, but
I got the impression
been
he's
here
been
before.
here. Yeah, that's the impression I got.
You're right. That is really weird. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. Maybe there was something they had set up later, but spoiler alert, you will not learn why Silver would know anything about Moebius by the end of this series, other than him potentially having read about it.
Damn.
That's what I would assume he's done, based on stuff he's talked about, I think, later this issue or maybe the next issue.
Maybe by this he just means dimension hopping in general. I
figured he spent time dimensioning.
Yeah. Anyway, unfortunately, this becomes a clusterfuck real fast because everybody's trying to talk to everybody else. And I don't even know who throws the first blow before everybody's fighting everybody else.
Poor Silver in the background is like, I just want to find Sonic.
Yeah, I do love him in this shot because
he looks so confused.
He gets here, there's a lot of people, and he's like, oh, which one of you is Sonic? And then they're just immediately kicking the shit out of each other.
He's so politely trying to ask people, which one of these people are Sonic?
Yeah, this is the beginning of Silver's dorkification, where he's just kind of... He's less of an aggressive dickhead, although that does happen in these comics. and more
Sure,
of
I
just
mean,
like a
you can
well-meaning
keep
idiot.
some of the. You can have both at the same time.
Yeah. Anyway, he does end up psycho grabbing everybody and says, "Which one of you is Sonic so I can destroy him?" And I love that Sonic and Scourge both point at each other.
I mean, technically, Sonic's not wrong. That Scourge is kind of Sonic.
Yeah.
It's so funny that Sonic would do that. And then Scourge is like, "You coward!" Like he's
Coward.
right for once.
Yeah.
But I get the idea that Sonic is just trying to piss off Scourge, basically.
Yeah. And that being said, Silver reasoning out that Sonic is Sonic because Metal Sonic is blue. He should know what Sonic looks like, I'm pretty sure, because he's read about the freedom... Whatever. I guess he didn't know
I
what
mean-
Sonic looked like in Sonic 06, and maybe they hadn't planned for that at this point, but...
Yeah.
The
picture
idea
they
that
had
Silver would
didn't
know
have
about
green eyes.
Moebius, but not that Sonic is blue, is pretty crazy.
Maybe he's going off the Japanese translation of blue, where it could also mean green.
Is that true?
Sort of. When the term in Japanese blue is owl, it's owl.
Yeah.
And when Europeans first arrived in Japan, they were confused by the fact that Japanese people would refer to things that would naturally be called both blue and green as just owl. Later on, the term the word Midori was introduced into the Japanese language. From where I don't fuck it. So a lot of the time, so like a green traffic light is called blue in Japanese.
Huh.
There's other things. That's the main one I usually think of.
Alright, well, Japan has
And
been
that
exploded with the
justifies-
rest of the world for thousands of years in Archie Sonic.
That's
so.
a good point. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, Silver figures out that Sonic is Sonic and is gonna destroy him. Robbo holds him up and makes him explain, and he says that there's no Iblis trigger in this. He says the future was doomed when one of the freedom fighters turned traitor, and he says destroys them, and the truth ends up being different from that, but that's what he thinks at least.
It's a classic stupid Silver moment right here, because they're like,
yeah, but I can put up with this one a lot more than fucking 06 for some reason. I don't know why. I just think the whole Iblis trigger thing is dumb.
So, in 06, the problem is that Mephiles is not worth believing. He's too obviously evil, and his only
Yeah.
thing that he shows Silver is Sonic standing in some fire.
Yeah, Memphis is way too like cartoonishly mustache twirlingly evil.
In the case of Archie Sonic, Silver is working off heavily incomplete information.
That's what I figured. I can appreciate that a lot more.
But they instantly jump to the conclusion of, well, one person turned on the team and destroyed it. I must be Sonic because they're the strongest. Like,
yes,
no,
and that is
that's not-
dumb.
It's not right.
That's dumb, but I can also understand the mentality.
Yeah, well, don't worry.
Not
We'll have
mentality, thought process.
We'll have
Whatever.
plenty of other Silver thought processes trying to figure out who the traitor is and being wrong before the end of this comic, so yeah. And obviously we as people who have read these know every single freedom fighter is not going to turn traitor, so
Sure.
whatever he thinks is going on, it's got to be more complicated than that. And well, it's funny because Robbo says no, Sonic is cool and a hero and good, and that's the end of that plot line. Like, as far as this story goes, Silver just is like, oh, okay. And then he doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter for the rest of this story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, his appearance here is very arbitrary.
It's just to
Yeah,
include all
like,
the hedgehogs, except they
it
weren't
is.
introduced until now, so they actually didn't need to be there.
Yeah.
If this had actually been Silver's introduction, like you could have made an introduction for Silver here actually work somehow.
I don't know. I think if they weren't going to do this silly gimmick, they should have just left him for a different story.
Oh no, I agree with that, but I think if they wanted to still do this gimmick, they could have actually made an introduction make sense.
Maybe.
How, I don't care enough to think.
I don't know. What could have been. Anyway, Sonic decides the best plan right now is the same one the Suppression Squad had. Everybody dogpile on Scourge, and then we can sort the rest of this out.
Okay, like that's funny and deserved, but like
We
there's
already-
absolutely no way that Metal Sonic and Rosie would agree to this. Like everyone else, I'll accept, but Metal Sonic, like You
Well,
can just
Rosie already wants to smash Scourge.
I can
so-
believe that Rosie would agree if Sonic is making it easier for her to beat up Scourge.
Right. Metal, on the
I
other hand, would
guess.
take a lot of convincing.
Metal, no, yeah, he should be trying to kill Sonic, not Scourge. He doesn't care about
Yeah.
Scourge. He cares about Sonic. Maybe he'll kill Scourge after he kills Sonic. But he's basically the same as Rosie. They both have priorities for exactly one hedgehog.
Right. And I guess Sonic just I can't really understand Sonic's logic in convincing Metal here because it doesn't really make sense.
They should have had Silver hold Metal in place and then everybody else goes after Scourge.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that being said, it is really fucking funny that Sonic says, "Hey, everyone gets Scourge," and then he's like, "Wait, what?" And then they're all chasing him.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, they deserve it, like I said.
Oh,
I mean, yeah, he's a bastard.
But unfortunately, he runs to his throne, which is stuffed full of Anarchy Barrel, which is
Anti-Chaos Emeralds.
Fucking amazing.
a truly ridiculous name.
What's another word for chaos? Anarchy. How about emerald? Barrel? Actually, I think emeralds are a type of barrel, so that does make
Yeah,
sense.
it's a synonym.
Yeah.
Or
But
I think emeralds are
anarchy-
specifically green barrel, which is why it's
I
really
believe
funny because they're
so.
not green.
Yeah.
But yes, we have Super Scourge. He is purple, he is gay, and it for some reason changes the
Yeah.
color of the flames on his jacket.
Alright, I don't mind
And
the
his
design
glasses. I like the design. It is kind of
or
sick.
or the idea of them becoming super. However, this is just stupid. Like it's another contrivance. Like, oh,
It
they
is.
just had anti-chaos emeralds in reserve this whole time. Why didn't they bring them to Moebius?
Because the rest of the suppression squad doesn't trust him.
Well, so that's true, but I also think that Scourge would think I don't need that shit. He would probably hate relying on this.
Well, here's the thing. I'm pretty sure this is how he was able to conquer his planet so quickly.
This would actually make sense. Yeah, that's true.
That was the assumption I got.
Maybe. That's a good point. I don't know. You are right that it is very contrived.
It's extremely contrived.
They're going full like jangling keys fan service, and I'm not gonna act like it doesn't work on me, but yes, it is very mindless.
Oh no, I fucking loved it. It was funny as hell.
Yeah.
But also, what the fuck? It's so dumb.
It's very dumb.
It's a very different flavor of schlocky than we've come to expect from these comics, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah, let's move on to Sonic number 196. It changes his sunglass color too.
Yeah.
And his shoes. Whatever.
Don't worry about it.
Hedgehog Havoc Part 2, Flynn and Yardley. The battle in Moebius reaches its climax as the group from Moebius enters the battle, only to find a Super Scourge waiting for them on the other side. And hey, we're back to Jensen. Yeah, the situation at Freedom HQ is basically unchanged from last time, but they finally get the portal running despite Alicia's complaints. And shit's going down back home.
I mean, yeah, they're like usual. The suppression squad are being a bunch of dicks. So
Why didn't Sonic try to go super off the emeralds?
was actually going to be something I was going to question because I'm assuming he can.
I guess maybe Scourge got hit in the way. He is super.
I guess, but
That's the least of my objections to this, honestly.
Yeah.
It is standard procedure that the villain gets to go super and wreak havoc for a little bit before the hero can. Although they actually don't at all,
Yeah,
which is
Sonic doesn't even
a little
get the chance to
strange.
do it.
Like them holding out and then like tricking them and then getting the anti-chaos emeralds and then turning super, like that's the way I would expect it to go, but it doesn't actually.
Yeah.
This page is also a lie when you see like all the hedgehogs here on the floor, because it's like, oh no, they've already lost, but then they all just like get back up and start fighting anyway.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he starts beating up everybody else until Silver is just up again, and then everybody else is also up again. You gotta take a 5-minute recess, I guess.
I don't know. Scourge at one point asks, "Hey, where's Fiona?" And I'm like, "Oh, I completely forgot about Fiona."
Same.
But apparently they ran away, so don't worry about it.
Yep. You'd think I would like for that to create some conflict between him and her, but it doesn't. So I don't know.
No, they're just totally cool about it. They're just like, wow, I guess they're really smart then.
Yeah. Silver holds him with psychokinesis for a second. I guess maybe that is what gives Sonic the chance to get up, but then Metal is like, actually, I don't care about Scourge anymore, so I'll attack Sonic, which is like, it's probably what you should have been doing from the start, but whatever.
Well, yeah, I think Metal even says, Scourge is no longer a viable target, so he's going back to Sonic.
Yeah. So they're stuck fighting until Shadow says, hey, I can get rid of it. And then he grabs Metal Sonic and Chaos Controls out of there and into Sonic X number 40.
I was gonna say, it goes right into Sonic X.
Yep, this was part 1 of Shadow and Metal Sonic's travels through parallel universes. That was part 2.
Ride.
We'll see if there are more entries in this exciting series. They didn't need to be here though. Like they're just the god now. Like wow, okay.
Yeah, it has the interdimension traveling. It's all a throwback to Amy and Techno.
Oh, okay, sure.
Completely wild thing to put in the last issue of your spin-off comic Sonic X, by the way. Like, you know, it's one thing to have them show up, but to now know that they came from a situation as absolutely ridiculous as this is, yeah.
Fucking wild.
Anyway, Rosie goes down next with Scourge throwing her at the wall and Rob tying her up for safety. And we get a character moment with him and Amy at that point, which is like maybe the first time they've ever interacted, despite us knowing they were related.
Yeah.
They've definitely interacted previously, but this is only like the second time.
Yeah, it's not much. So yeah, things are still going very bad, but Sally's gonna do some quick planning, which results in, well, they tried, you know? Silver holds him down, Bunny and Boomer fire on him, and then everyone very literally dogpiles him, which I don't understand, because Sally says if we can keep him down long enough, he'll lose his super form. I don't think that's true.
Not as far as I'm aware. I guess they're trying to just run out his timer.
They just figured this is the best way to stall, basically.
I guess.
Because, yeah, they will run out eventually.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, if you could do anything to a super form, maybe suffocating him, starving him of oxygen might do it.
Yeah.
I do like Tails' face because he's stuck at the bottom of all this. But yeah, it's clearly meant to seem like it was a good idea, but Super Scourge is still too strong, so. But Sonic takes it to a one-on-one, and Scourge throws him outside into the rain and mud, and this issue is suddenly very fucking blue. And then Sonic is just like, alright, I just gotta run away, see what I can do. And,
yeah.
Well, okay. When Sonic goes, this is Moebius, the anti-Moebius, that's it. I know what he actually does, but I love that his first strategy here is to stop, turn around, and instantly start negging Scourge. And it is part of how it works. He basically says, like, oh, you know, you had to be super to take me down. I guess you're just not as strong in your base form as you thought.
God.
Play on his inferiority complex, Vegeta style.
Yeah.
But the result of this is, again, I don't know whether I think this is contrived, because everything about Moebius as a reverse world is already just according to whatever is convenient.
Basically.
So the inverse world version of a super form is stronger than another super form, but it's bad for you.
How does this help Sonic though? Because like Sonic acts like this is a real clever thing, and like, oh, I figured you out, gotcha. But like that doesn't actually help in the moment. Like Sonic just got lucky. Like Scourge's super form just happened to run out right then, but that doesn't make any sense because like they were about to kill Sonic. Like,
No.
What?
That's not what happened.
Sonic does explain what happened.
Sonic convinces Scourge to de-transform.
Basically.
Oh, and that was not clear at all. I didn't even know you could do that. You can de-transform? Huh.
I mean...
Yeah, because...
if we're not looking at this as the same logic as the games, and this is more like anime transformations, then yeah, you could totally de-transform.
So at the end of any Supersonic battle in the games, Sonic seems to know when he's
Willingly
detransforming.
change.
I assume it's
Yeah.
not always complete coincidence, but definitely in the moment, Scourge says, I can finish you, super or not, and then Sonic says, prove it, and then he says, fine,
Yeah.
as he's
And then
going
as
green again. The part that
right.
shocks him is that being in the
He's-
reverse world means that going super is bad for you.
Right, which that's
Okay. So I completely missed that for some reason. I guess because I didn't think you could just will it. But has Scourge never like gone super before? How would they not know this?
I mean, I guess that does kind it.
Yeah, I don't know. And Sonic's logic here pisses me off too, because he apparently he figured this out, he says. And like, okay, again, reverse world, it's completely arbitrary, but I hate that Sonic says like, you guys get tons of Anarchy Barrel, we only get 7 Chaos Emeralds. That's a recent change and not a natural one.
That's
Right.
true.
That should have nothing to really do with it.
Now, Sonic getting stronger from Supersonic so Scourge would get weaker, I guess you could say, but then why is Super Scourge stronger than Supersonic? Supersonic is not weaker than base. I don't know. It's really weird.
I actually didn't even know that like getting healed after going super was a mechanic. Like it also feels made up.
I would say, you know, they talk all the time about Sonic absorbing chaos energy, so I don't necessarily have a problem with that. You know, it's like never in the games has Sonic come across as tired after a super battle. Or in the comics.
I guess.
That is something that separates it from like Super Saiyan, because Goku does burn energy when he does that, whereas Sonic
That's true.
doesn't. Anyway, I don't know. It is a contrived ending to a contrived plot, and it's really kind of a shame because up until the last issue of last week with that stuff, it was silly, but it didn't feel like narratively broken in any way.
Not really.
Not narratively broken, but it did just feel like it was going wherever it felt like. I have final thoughts, but I'll final thoughts when we're actually done with this issue.
Fair enough, fair enough. Sonic does end off with a reality check for Scourge, and I do like that. He is no conqueror, and he's certainly no king. Sonic's basically saying, you're no better than you were in shit-ass Sonic number 150. You're just a petty crook who thinks you're something big. Get fucked. So that part's cool, but yeah, the day is saved, the action is winding down. It actually says Moebius the next day. That must have been a weird-ass overnight for them to spend there.
Yeah.
But the action is winding down. Despite everything that happened, the Freedom Fighters and Suppression Squad are indeed parting on relatively amicable terms.
Which is old.
Yeah. I think the Suppression Squad are like, if we're nice, then they'll go away, basically.
Well, so
yeah, I think
partially, and there is, you know, definitely some intrigue being built where Miles and Alicia definitely have something planned.
Yeah.
And Alicia even implies that Miles is the one who really is in charge. So I guess they get the idea of villain Tails being the one in charge is from an alternate dimension is a thought in Sonic Rider's head long before Sonic Prime.
Huh, yeah.
I didn't necessarily expect this, but in retrospect, I'm like, oh, that makes total sense. Because like if you watch Miles, they're always like standing in the background looking so self-important.
He
which
does, yeah.
That was just like the way they looked. Like that was just the stance they liked. But in retrospect, that makes a lot of sense.
Well, and he was the one making all the moves for getting them here, so.
Mm-hmm.
That's true, yeah.
And he, you know, I'm remembering last time how he said it was Alicia's plan when he got back, and he was pledging his loyalty to her. And here he even wants her on the throne, even though he's the one making the play. So interesting. Also, I have to I still have to think that like he's like 12 years old.
Yeah. The little fascist has ambition.
He is such a fashy design, isn't he?
He is.
I'm interested to see how this goes. But the way I read it now is, yeah, no one would take them seriously if they were like, I'm in charge now.
Right.
So that's the only reason I'm using
that's a good
Alicia
point.
for that.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Anywho, Sonic and Silver go over how and why Silver was wrong. And then Silver's like, all right, I screwed up. I'm going to go home.
Once again, our problem is the solution to our problem is tell them you're being an idiot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kintober
Whatever.
thanks them for their time, and the story is mostly wrapped up, but Sonic decides the same thing that that we did. Scourge can't be in Sonic's world or his own. He's going to the Zone Cops.
Yeah, we're gonna take him to fucking prison.
Oh, wow. There's a throwback.
Yeah, I
Yep.
hadn't thought about them in a real long.
Yeah, so we're definitely getting a continuation after this that leads
Yeah.
in, but like it's basically sort of the end of this arc.
Yeah, the main part of this is done.
So yeah, I mean, honestly, I wasn't a huge fan of this. Part of it for me is you can
all
only
over the
have
place.
the evil versions of the heroes there for so long before I start to get like annoyed with it. It's like you can't overuse that concept personally. It's like, why are they here so long? Like they had this whole thing about, oh,
The
they're gonna
only one I
invade,
really-
but then they didn't do
I-
anything with it, and it felt really drawn out.
The only one I really actually like out of them is Scourge.
Yeah, it's
'Cause
like
the others still kind of just feel like I am evil version of X character. Scourge actually feels like his own character now.
so Boomer, Patch, Alicia, they don't feel like they
Miles
contribute
maybe
much.
also.
Miles, I can at least
Miles
see
is
that
a
they were
weird
planting
one.
seeds with him.
Sure, but I feel it doesn't feel like they were really doing anything with him until the very end with Alicia implying that he's the one really,
It's one of those things you can read
pulling
in
the
hindsight,
levers.
but in the moment it's like,
Yeah, in the moment, I don't really get that impression. I just again, I got the impression he's like Tails. He's just the brains, not the literals, but
yeah, but definitely like the second part of this amounted to the Freedom Fighters and Suppression Squad just hanging around while everybody was fighting on Moebius. So it was like, what's the point?
yeah,
It's too
Yeah,
many characters to work with as part of it.
that's a big thing. If honestly, if they hadn't done the joke with let's have all of the hedgehogs throw down,
Yeah,
it
'cause
might have
the-
been a little bit more coherent.
Yeah, because there was
Oh,
no
yeah.
point to that beyond the gag. So yeah,
Not really.
yeah.
Yeah,
That was a
that
stupid
was
way to introduce Silver. I mean, okay, I don't want to say completely stupid way to introduce Silver. I think
I mean,
could
you
have done
gotta
something
throw them in
similar
somehow. They don't
without-
do a Sonic 06 adaptation, so
So okay, I think maybe if you didn't have all of the hedgehogs, just like the main hedgehog, Silver, Scourge, I guess Amy since she was already there, Shadow and Silver. Metal does not need to be here. Have Metal and Shadow show up in Sonic X some other way because that was already stupid.
yeah, I don't know. Anyway, we're not done with the issues for today. We've still got a couple left, but yeah.
Yeah.
Let's move along here to Sonic number 197, and that's not what happens in the comic. It's a good cover,
No,
but
it
that's not what
isn't.
happens.
Yeah, I've seen this
Um,
cover for years. This
so-
isn't really what happens though.
This is just a vaguely representative cover. It's not completely lying.
I mean, I get
It
that
There is
doesn't
a
seem to
jail.
literally
associated.
occur, but
Yeah.
It's vaguely associated, but
Sonic and Sally don't even
No.
share any screen time in this issue. Anyway, this
Sure
doesn't
they
matter.
don't.
This is not a big deal. It's not like a bait cover with like, like Sonic and Eggman like making out or whatever. And it's like, how could this happen? Then it turns out they just say they drink from the same drinking fountain or something. But anyway, the story here is called Consequences, written by Flynn, drawn by Yardley and Herms. With Moebius and Moebius safe, Sonic takes Scourge across the cosmic interstate to throw him in interdimensional prison.
man, it's been a while
Gosh.
since we've seen any of this.
the Cosmic Highway, I can't believe they brought that back. I thought it was just retconned out because like warp rings exist now, and this was like silly and it's redundant now. But no, apparently it's still a thing.
Yeah, I'm not even sure how Sonic got here. Like, it's a portal that's just somewhere or something like that?
In the original
Didn't he
cartoony
run
comics,
fast enough to get there
actually,
originally?
yeah, I think that's right. I just remember it being really easy to do, at least for Sonic and Evil Sonic as
Yeah.
well. I remember used it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like, what did they need the star posts for?
Exactly. That's why I
I
assumed
guess
it was just
easier
not a thing anymore.
transportation.
Yeah. Well, either way, they're kind of retconning it to be more associated with Sonic and his zone anyway, so
Right.
I don't know. Also, it's not space. It was just night when they were there before, and it's day now.
Okay, sure.
Apparently, yeah.
Sonic recaps us on Sonic a little bit, but then Scourge wakes up to try and escape.
Okay, so when I saw Sonic just carrying Scourge, my first thought was, "Wow, they're not bound at all. I sure hope they don't wake up." And then they woke up. Like they
He's
didn't
literally
even
got
tie their
handcuffs
feet
on.
together. Are you stupid?
Yeah, you gotta hog tie his ass.
He does have handcuffs, but he easily tricks Sonic into breaking them. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, we just needed to make Scourge a threat one more time, and not even that much of a threat.
Yeah, they just clash until the cops show up anyway, so...
Yeah.
The cops, you say? Okay, so like Sonic is under arrest, so like that's on the cover. That's half the cover. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, but he is. But like, sure.
Okay, well, if we're taking the cover as a metaphor, then yes, Sonic is in trouble with the police, and then when we cut back to Sally, she is in trouble with the council. So it's
That's
all a
literally
metaphor.
what I thought it was saying. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough, whatever. Anyway, yeah, the council voted against fighting the suppression squad, and Sally kind of went over their head with that. Rosemary even accuses her of colluding with Sonic, who basically did the same thing, running out to fight Scourge, which is not exactly what happened, but it might as well be. Because her punishment for Sonic running out to fight Scourge was to have him do more of that, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of words here, a lot of dialogue, and it basically amounts to Hamlin trapping Sally into admitting she's a princess sometimes and leader of the freedom fighters other times, depending on what's most convenient to her. And that tension creates some hot water to dunk her in, I guess. The wonders of democracy, everybody.
It really feels like the writers are trying to make us say, "Oh, the place was better as a kingdom."
I honestly...
No, it wasn't. Like I instantly know that's not true.
I know it wasn't, but like, goddamn, bureaucracy at its finest here.
It's really weird because I don't know exactly what they communicate with this, because the
Yeah,
council, for a lot of this series, I'm not going to say all of it, which is probably the thing that they wanted to show later on, but for a lot of this series, the council does nothing but stand in the hero's way of things that you know are obviously correct.
yeah, it's like the concept of the council is good. In fact, it fucking solved solved shit. But the way they're using it is just objectively wrong, or the way you're using it from a writing perspective, in my opinion, is just objectively wrong.
I mean...
Okay. So I think I know what's going on here, but we have to see it unfold. I think at this moment you're supposed to be like, "What? This is weird. I don't get it."
I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, I think... I don't know. Because, like, somebody's got to play devil's advocate. Hamlin isn't completely in the wrong here, but it's like he's such a dickhead about it.
I think that's part of the problem. He's just an ass.
And the fact that he's just a pig man who never did anything. If this were a character that we had, been warmed up to and were, like, used to, like, I don't know, maybe have Chuck be the one saying this or something, like, he could just have a different perspective. But they specifically draw it like it's Hamlin, like, throwing his weight around for, power to have over Sally.
That is literally the case. They say that later, but I didn't want to get ahead. But yes, that's it.
That is basically what he's doing.
Okay. Let's take it one step at a time. Sonic is stopped by the Zone cops, and we've got we've got a whole world of Sonics now. It's like we only really saw Sonic before, but now we have Zector and Zespio here.
Man, the Zeotics being policed in the Cosmic Highway really takes me back to like Sonic the comic.
Wow.
Yeah, kinda. Yeah. They were police in Moebius 25 years later. They were Knuckles' Gestapo for Shadow.
Yeah.
Gestapo? Anyway,
Jesus Christ.
And it's like they take him to the No Zone. I don't know if we had heard it called that before.
I don't think so.
But it's Scourge's world, and yes, it has the 90-degree rotation that we've seen.
Zonic's world, you mean?
Zonic's world.
What did I call
It's a
it?
different. You called it Scourge's World. It's a different alternate Sonic.
God damn it. I'm getting them mixed
There's
up
too
already.
many alternate Sonics, motherfucker.
But yes, it has the 90-degree rotation we've seen, and it is also in disrepair. And you're like, what happened? And then Scourge kicks people in the head and runs away.
What a surprise.
And what a surprise! Scourge escaped.
Yeah, they'll explain, then they'll figure it out. And okay, yes, this is the second half of the Sally Hamlin argument. And they do more arguing, but
Hamlin's got a nice little Ace Attorney moment at the beginning here.
that is an objection point, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I have anything specific to say about this before Sally does her epic gamer strat of well, she basically makes an implicit threat saying, I'm not going to do anything without council approval then, no matter how bad the results might be.
Yeah, I'm going to have you guys tell us to do literally everything, or we're going to run literally everything past you.
If Metal Sonic is going to jab you with his knife fingers, you have to approve a vote to have me stop him before I will.
Which is like, yeah, for a group like the Freedom Fighters to even function, they kind of need some amount of freedom.
It's really it's okay. Go ahead.
The thing is, like IRL, this kind of would make sense, but in universe, like the Freedom Fighters are like extremely heroic, over the top, to the point that like there's no way anyone would ever doubt that they would make
given the
right
benefit
decision.
of the doubt yet is kind of insane.
Like their track record is rock solid. They shouldn't be questioning it.
Again, the fact that they aren't willing to give the Freedom Fighters the benefit of the doubt is kind of insane.
They want it to be like, I think this is something, and you can correct me if I'm wrong in this because I really don't know. I think this is the sort of thing the Avengers have to deal with, where they're
sometimes
in a lot of talks with governments and stuff about how best to operate. And the problem is just that the Freedom Fighters aren't the Avengers. There's no reason to really question them. You can't do a Who Watches the Watchmen if the Watchmen are consistently perfect.
Exactly. It's
that's the problem. If the Freedom Fighters actually made mistakes more often, and no, I would not like them to suddenly like contrive a bunch of mistakes to justify this, because
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to them not always being, being perfect.
I think the way to play it would be, Freedom Fighters or various characters from them getting busy with other stuff and having to take different people on the team, and maybe they can't always have everybody who is unquestionably good on the team. If you have Jeffrey St. John on the team, maybe he'll make a decision that's questionable, and that's something that they would have to then...
Having him on the team would be questionable.
You get my point, though, right?
No, I know your point. I get your point. And I agree. It's like, yeah.
So
none of this actually matters, though, because they're undercutting all that, because, as you said, it's just Hamlin, because... everyone was like, wow, I'm so glad that you got out of that, Sally. Like, we like, everything's good, but I don't know why Hamlin was turning on you so much. And so I was like, yeah, that's weird. And Hamlin's
it's like they hold a vote and literally everyone votes in favor of Sally, of dropping the investigation against Sally, except for Hamlin. So this is all pointless.
Yeah, and as Lauren says, they undercut it because they say, oh, he's actually just bitter because he was the substitute Freedom Fighters, but then they never really did anything.
I can't believe it. The fact that the substitute Freedom Fighters were so forgettable is now being used as a plot point. They're like, I can't believe it. I never got my chance to be a real freedom fighter. So now I'm going to join the council. It's the only way I can make a difference is the way Hamlin thinks. And you know what I think? I think that Hamlin is the Iblis trigger.
That is...
He's the fucking traitor? You know what? Yeah. I believe that.
That is extremely funny. And as someone who knows how that plotline goes, it's additionally funny for another reason I can't tell you.
Oh no!
Oh my god.
So yeah, I think it's really weird. Part of this is that it's too soon. right? It's too soon to create this kind of division between the Freedom Fighters and the Council because the Freedom Fighters haven't had a chance to screw up.
True.
And the other part of this is that Hamlin was not a character before this, really. Like, okay, he
True.
was in the Sally comics, and in those comics, he was like the problem child. He was always the one that was either complaining
That's
or
true,
not being
yeah.
helpful. And so him being bitter about this and being kind of a petty, small-minded asshole, I guess is in character. And even then, it's like, it's so weird because in actual situations like this, you do actually want somebody to have a dissenting opinion, I think.
Sure, yeah.
But it's not, it's too one-sided. It villainizes him too much, ironically, even though Sally is right. Yeah, it's really weird. And ultimately, it doesn't even matter that much, so I don't know. So, meanwhile, back at the action, Sonic gives Sonic a stabilizer so he's not stuck at a weird angle anymore. And he also explains that the No Zone was wrecked up by Dr. Nega. Who the hell is that?
Gee, I wonder.
It's not Dr. Eggman Nega, it's just Dr. Nega.
I mean,
still
I
have
would
to
not have assumed it
assume.
was anyone other than
Yeah.
Eggman Nega,
Oh.
but now the fact that you pointed that out,
Yeah, that you
No,
pointed
no,
that
no,
out,
no.
I'm like, wait,
is-
hold on.
that's just a last name. It could be anyone. You're right.
It
That's
is him.
true.
Here's the thing. It is him, but this is one of the weirdest aspects of the comics, which is that they were constantly alluding to Dr. Eggman Nega by foreshadowing him, bringing him up, talking about these things he did. SEGA was bizarrely, and still is, I guess, bizarrely cagey about this character. They were not ever able to add him in a plotline. They were not ever able to use his full name. They were never able to draw him except for in like one off panel, I think. I don't know what the hell their deal was. They were allowed to allude to him this much, but never actually use him. So it's like, what the hell?
I mean, I haven't been keeping up. When's the last time Eggman Nega showed up in an official Sonic media? Like, are they just a character they don't care about that much?
Official Sonic media would be Olympic Games Tokyo 2020.
Nobody
Canon
cares about the
media,
Olympic Games, so
canon media would be
Yeah, canon.
the Sonic Channel comics, which
Okay.
is also the only reason we know that Styx exists in the main timeline. And she's also a character that Sega doesn't really like them trying to use. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
No, they don't show up very much, but that is strange. I had no idea. I thought they were just calling them Dr. Nega because it's just their last name, and so it's just the formal way to
Yeah, first
address
name
them,
Eggman,
basically.
last name Mega.
Yeah,
and
it's
Nega.
so weird. Yeah. Anywho, Sonic makes a reference to a comic we haven't read yet, because it's not really happening now. I guess I could have put it before this, but I didn't really feel like it.
It's actually referencing a comic that doesn't happen. Like, there's an editor's note that says see Sonic Universe #1, but you don't see Sonic run into Eggman Nega there.
That's true, actually.
Yeah. Well, we'll get there. Yeah, it's time to take down Scourge now. Sonic and Sonic work together, and relatively easily, once it's actually the chips are down and there's time to actually do it, they get a collar around his neck that disables his abilities.
Yeah, it makes sense. You see this a lot in media with like overpowered characters like this. You have to have the police have like these disable all abilities restraints, basically. So yeah.
On that note, I do like that Sonic asks, what are we going to do with Eggman? He's not our Robotnik. He's an interdimensional criminal too.
That is true.
That's your jurisdiction, and a cab, because Sonic has an extremely dumb excuse that I think is dumb.
I mean, his excuse, while his excuse is dumb, it's also a fairly common excuse in media.
I mean, it's ultimately
they
it's a meta excuse because it's obvious that Sonic needs to fight Eggman, but
yeah,
the stability
idea
of the
like,
Prime Zone depends on Sonic and Robotnik's conflict.
Well, yeah, it's the same concept of Marvel at some point in the last decade of stuff I haven't watched. Introducing the concept of I think they're anchor beings. So characters that are important to a timeline's continued existence.
This is really dumb. I didn't like this when they started doing like the whole Prime Universe thing. Honestly, it's why I don't really care for Sonic that much, Because,
Yeah.
well, yeah, I mean, it's just, basically they're just a useless cop that doesn't actually care about fixing anything. They just want everything to stay the same,
Yeah, they're
basically.
more so there to maintain the status quo.
Yeah, exactly. The thing is, they could have made this a lot better really easily because Sonic first is like, oh, you have to maintain stability, but then Sonic keeps arguing with them, and then Sonic also is like, well, we're also under siege, and like everything's falling apart here. Just say that first, and don't say the
Yeah,
other
just use
thing.
that as the excuse to say, look, we're busy here. Maybe if we get time, we can deal with your Eggman. That would have been
Yeah,
a
I
Yeah.
much
agree.
better thing.
Yeah, and I agree with Lauren. The whole Prime Zone is the most important thing I never liked to begin with. We're also retconning that apparently it means they have to be miserable all their lives too. Does that just mean that Eggman will literally never be beaten? You know, this comic would never get an ending it deserves?
I mean,
Which obviously
yes.
it didn't, but that was unnatural circumstances. But it's
I
like,
think even still, this comic would not have gotten an adequate ending. It would have either just piddled out, or it would have it still would have gotten canceled.
I
That was the
really
only
wish
two.
that they would allow runs to end.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
See, the thing is, I'm not bothered because this comic already had an end with the end game arc.
That's true.
Like I always thought the Sonic comics were really cool because they actually had an end and a victory for the heroes and everything was wrapped up. But then they just kept going because like you know the readers want to see more. So like I'm not mad that we never got a proper end because we did in my eyes, and then it just kept going for fun basically. So like now I'm like I don't care if Eggman
It's
sticks
all
around. I mean
it's
it's
all
better that
fan
way.
I
fiction.
mean, I love
This is all
Eggman.
just
That's not
fan
my
fiction
problem.
now.
I don't know. Anyway, they send Sonic home, and I'm happy to see him connect with his family again. Also, Bernadette is finally purple again. I think we saw that last issue, but she's been blue for a really long
Yes.
time, and now she's purple again.
I forgot she was supposed to be purple, to be honest.
Same.
Sonic
I assume she was
says
just blue.
Sonic says that with this taken care of, we're gonna attack Eggman. We're probably gonna beat him for good again soon. For good again. I realize how funny the sentence that is. But
Yep.
Huh?
yeah. Clearly they're building something up for number 200, and meanwhile,
Yeah.
Snively is called away from his chat with Regina, whoever that is. By
Keep going.
do you know that name?
Yeah, I do. I now know who this is, and
I'm
I'm
still
just
not
like,
sure.
my first questions are, they're working for Eggman, and why are they dating Snively?
Yeah, I'm still not sure who they are, so
Anyway, Eggman calls in Snively, and he calls him Colin, and he's like, "What the hell?"
yeah, it's like when your mom calls you by your full legal name.
Yeah,
Or in my
except
case, my Hebrew name.
yeah, except your mom cares about you, whereas Eggman doesn't care about Snively. It's just more evidence that something weird is going on with him. And
Right.
Snively's like, "Ah, he's losing his sanity," and then he almost gets obliterated by a giant blast of fire. Because Eggman has constructed the Egg Phoenix, a new mech for next issue.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, things are heating up. But now we have to cool them down with another useless fucking game preview adaptation. We have Nighttime, that's funny, Flynn and Yardley. The intro cutscene of Sonic and the Black Knight happens.
It's 100% by the numbers. They're not even
Yeah.
trying at this point. I mean, I don't blame them because, like, oh, you have to do a super short comic for this game, and it's like, okay, fine, I'll just
So
adapt.
something interesting I noticed though is that this comic actually extends past the length of the normal issue, because the normal issue is about 23 pages. This comic starts on page 24.
Huh.
That's about the most interesting
Right.
thing I could come up with this comic.
Yeah, I guess it is a little longer. That's odd.
Yeah, it extends it to like 29 pages, or 28 pages.
Yeah.
That's the most interesting thing about this story.
Yeah, I think the dialogue is even verbatim the same as the intro cutscene, which is different from
I'm
the Sonic
pretty sure
Unleashed
it's
one.
close enough, at least.
My only comment is the way it's drawn. It looks like Merlina slaps away Sonic's chili dog when they teleport them away.
It does, yeah.
You're right, it does look like she's hitting with the staff. Yeah, so, I mean, perfectly decent art from Yardley, but we're so used to that now that it's like, okay. But
Yeah.
we are not heading into Sonic number 198 just yet, folks. Sonic made a reference to Sonic Universe, so we are going to have to start that tonight. Starting right here with Sonic Universe number 1. And it's a very Sonic X looking Sonic on the cover.
I was
I'm
gonna say it's very Sonic X-y.
not sure if that's a coincidence or not. It's it's a Spazion drawing. He can draw in basically any Sonic style.
True.
But yes, the Flynn era of the comics took things up a notch in terms of popularity, and Sonic X was on its way out by this point anyway, so they greenlit a second series for the first time since Knuckles ended. Or at least since the Super Specials, if you count those, but most of those were bad. But Sonic Universe is all about Sonic's universe. It tackles stories that take place alongside the main comics, but are parallel and usually starring other characters. So, I'm excited for these. This ends up being a winning formula on average, I would say.
All right.
And it survived into the reboot. So,
There you
but
go.
yes, this is the Shadow Saga, I believe it's called. That's this first 4-issue arc. And yeah, our first story here is called Living Weapons, Flynn and Yardley. Transporting across time and space from Moebius, and a strange alternate world, Shadow and his fight with Metal Sonic arrive in the Sol Zone.
Yep, this is the third issue of the Shadow and Metal Sonic comics.
Yeah, we read it a little out of order.
Yeah, but it's like we really had no choice because like we couldn't have mixed in the Sonic X comics with the rest of these. That would have been a mess.
That would have been a mess, but
Oh no! We definitely
yeah.
did it the right way. I
no.
only say that because it's so stupid that they did this.
No, it's
Oh,
so
yeah.
A
dumb.
plot line that crosses across 3 different comics, technically.
Yeah, as a kid,
God.
I never read the Sonic X comics, and I didn't even it didn't even register to me that they even went somewhere else between Moebius and here. You wouldn't even know.
Sure. Yeah, you really don't need to read the Sonic X story, to be honest.
Back when we were, before we were doing the X comics, I wasn't sure what order we were going to do these in, and I considered sending you guys a version of Universe number 1 that cuts out references to Sonic X,
Interesting.
Huh.
because you wouldn't
I
know.
mean, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but anyway, we're not missing a beat here. We have Shadow and Metal arrive here, and Shadow is trying to make an appeal to Metal Sonic and saying like, you have free will, you don't have to do what Eggman says. I don't know that that's true, man.
I don't think we've ever gotten the impression that he has free will.
I don't know. I'm not going to talk about this now because it comes up again later. In the moment, it seems like it's just a joke because the only way Metal Sonic reacts is to kick a Shadow.
Yeah. And yeah, he sends him down below the mysterious ocean, and Metal flies off. And well, look whose ocean it is. The ship from Rush Adventure shows up.
Oh boy.
It's very sudden. It really shows that I don't think they had quite the time to do everything that they wanted, because we got a couple of short promo stories with Blaze.
Right.
But we really have seen almost nothing of her or her dimension in this comic before now.
Yeah,
and
this
now
is
we're skipping past having done Rush Adventure and never having really adapted Rush in the first place.
Yeah, that's probably fine.
I mean, in the long run, it doesn't matter that much. The story
Yeah,
of Rush
that's what I'm
Adventure is
thinking.
not that valuable to me. Rush 1 is,
Sure.
but the ship's already
We're a
sailed
little
on
bit
that front.
Yeah, we're already past being able to adapt that.
Yeah. I will say this, Shadow and Blaze have barely interacted in main canon, especially at the time this comic came out, so this is a character interaction we've never seen in the series before.
Too bad Marine is here to get in the way. I'm glad that Shadow throws a towel in their face.
Yes. Yeah. Shadow explains his situation. Both he and Blaze mention knowing Sonic. I like that Shadow cares so little for Marine, he gets her name wrong.
He constantly gets her
Yeah.
name wrong through the entire issue.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, base.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then Blaze launches into a huge 2-page explanation of how things played out for her. She had Sol Emerald visions of Sonic, took the Cosmic Interstate to Moebius, did that one story that we saw, and then the Sonic Rush Adventure story happened completely off screen when they showed up in her dimension, which we already kind of established, but yeah.
So was that one of those stories that started with in another time in another place?
No.
Okay,
No.
so that one actually did happen. I was wondering about that.
Yeah, that was main Archie timeline, and that was before they really figured out another time, another place, I think, because I think they would have
Okay.
done that otherwise.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
So I'm pretty sure this is them just trying to tie up loose ends because this doesn't really make a lot of sense. Like, so I'm to understand that Blaze was like, oh yes, sorry, Sonic will be key to getting back the Soul Emeralds. So they went to Sonic and that didn't work, and so then they left, and then Sonic just came of their own accord and then helped. So like. Blaze's initial trip was unnecessary and pointless.
it was too early, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
Also, their version of Rush Adventure has no regular Eggman. It's
Huh.
just
That's
Nega
fine.
in
You
charge.
didn't need them both there anyway.
Not really.
And you're right. Also, we have our first depiction of Marine's vague powers. She her crayon colored memories here show her with some kind of power coming from her hand, and we don't know what it is.
I thought they were just making it up.
That's what I assume. She's
Like
just
in
kinda
these comics,
bullshitting.
until proven otherwise, I don't think they can do nothing.
Maybe.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
So yeah. Also, here's something weird. This might be a little uncomfortable. I want to make clear that, like, okay, we like Yardley. He's far from the most horny the artist got. This is not really even a criticism of him, but he's the only artist I've seen that draws Blaze with boobs, and that's not normal for her character in any comic, and including
No, it
I don't think it
isn't.
really happens outside this one. So that's a weird choice.
That might just
I
be
didn't even
the-
notice, honestly.
I didn't either, actually, until you started saying that, and I was looking around. I was looking on a page. I was like, "Oh, interesting."
I
That
only
might
bring
just
it up
be a-
because Sonic teamed themselves with the one who wrote that weird shit in the 06 profiles. But anyway,
Yeah, I mean,
we're all
that's
caught
odd,
up is the
but-
point, and we arrive at
Yeah.
Southern Island, or Seagull Island, whatever they called it.
Uh,
Except it's on fire.
Good.
Metal Sonic is destroying the fuck out of those koala guys.
Okay, so, but like, this isn't how Metal Sonic operates. Metal Sonic
No,
doesn't
it
go
isn't.
threatening a bunch of randos for information.
No,
Metal
he'd just
Sonic would
go
look
hunt down-
around, see
he'd go
that their
find-
Eggman's not there, and just keep looking around.
Yeah, he'd just go find Eggman on his own. He wouldn't just start murdering people.
Well,
yeah.
and importantly, Metal Sonic already warped
torturing?
out of his native dimension to go find Sonic, right? Why does he
Yeah.
not do that now? Does he need to recharge?
Hey,
So in
Uh,
the Sonic X comics, it's very important now. It was
yeah.
established that Metal Sonic couldn't leave without Shadow. Like their engine didn't
Right.
work
Okay,
unless Shadow's Chaos Control was there as well.
hold on,
They
how
didn't
was he able-
explain why that was the case.
Well, why
I
was
thought
he
it was
able to initially
malfunctioning or
use it?
something. Yeah. So
in the in yeah,
When
in
Eggman
that
built
one-
him.
Yeah, Eggman
Yes,
built him. Why was he
yes,
unable to
I know,
initially use
but
the engine?
as of Sonic X, it doesn't work that way anymore because Shadow was like, I'm not
That is
worried
true,
about
yeah.
Metal Sonic leaving because he can't leave.
Maybe it got broken.
It might have
Sure,
gotten
why not?
damaged. It might be. I don't know. It's that's the best guess probably.
Yeah. It's a
Why
little
not?
sloppy. They're getting a little sloppy today. Anyway, yeah, he would just go look for their version of Robotnik, which they don't even have a version of Robotnik, unless their version of Eggman is not a descendant. I don't want to have to think about that headache.
No, it's Captain Whisker.
Yeah.
He's a robot, though.
Yeah, but
which-
he's
So?
Eggman looking.
So was our current Eggman at one point.
Oh, God.
True.
Continuity. It's a nightmare. Anyway, Blaze does not hesitate to go help. She burns the fuck out of Metal Sonic, but he's still fast, so Shadow has to step in to help. But Metal is fast, so he can dodge him too.
Good description.
Yeah, good description.
I mean, it's more fighting. It's thankfully not as many pages of fighting as we had been accustomed to.
Yeah.
Marine shockingly manages
Yeah.
to clamp on him and stay there for 7 whole panels without fucking dying.
Because I'm pretty sure because he was just straight up ignoring her.
That might be part of it, yeah.
Because
Okay.
Metal just assumes she's not a threat.
Yeah. Shadow
Actually,
tries
in fact-
again.
In fact, yeah, I was about to say. In fact, he decides to use Marine as a human, meat shield.
A little
yeah,
bit, yeah.
Metal Sonic is like a super genius. Metal Sonic realized that this would actually be to their benefit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Until he throws her off because reasons.
Well, because
Because
at some
Marine
point
is
she gets-
too annoying even for a robot.
I was about to
Of
say, at
course.
some point she
Not
gets
stand
too
for very long.
annoying.
Alright. So Shadow tries again. He says, Metal, you don't need to mindlessly fulfill someone else's wishes. You can do whatever you want, just like me. And then Metal says
Basically says no.
he basically owns him. He refutes him in a way that's kind of awesome. He's like, well, you are doing someone else's will. Gerald made you to protect Moebius, and that's what you say that you're doing.
So, like, yeah, that's good.
With
Got
humping
him.
lips, I
But
guess.
like, this is weak on Shadow's part because like Shadow is like, you can think on your own, so join me and save the world. What? No, that doesn't immediately follow. I mean, usually I would think most robots that disobey Eggman decide to just conquer the world on their own. That's typically how that
A
works.
lot of the time,
So
yeah.
Shadow should have thought of a different excuse. If Shadow had been like, if Shadow had tried to like trick Metal Sonic or something, been like, oh, you don't have to fight now, because I have like a better plan or something, that'll help you be free of Eggman's control or something like that. I don't know, because that would maybe be something that would entice Metal Sonic, but just be like, nah, help me save the world. Like what?
The problem is that we don't know what Metal Sonic wants, if he can want anything. If we assume that he can, we don't know what it is. If we assume that he can't, this is pointless.
Yeah.
And Shadow, for some reason, assumes that A, he can want anything, and B, that what he wants is not what Eggman wants, which is true in main canon, but what Metal Sonic wants outside of Eggman in main canon still involves killing Sonic. Because
Right.
he wants to replace Sonic because he thinks that'll give him inner peace, basically. And even that's reading a lot into Sonic Heroes, so yeah. Get owned Shadow, that's the point. Shadow's not even that upset about this, though, because it seems like it was more of a distraction for Blaze to blast him with fire anyway.
Yep.
Yeah.
So she does, Shadow catapults him into the sky, and Marine blows him up with a cannon, so we gave
Rip
Marine a
another
Metal Sonic kill count.
Rip another medal.
Yep. What? You know what, I'm not gonna say anything. Unfortunately, Shadow is now stranded in the Sol Zone because he jumped here by using Chaos Control to activate Metal's engine. I guess you both need each other to travel?
Oh boy.
Even though...
You can't just dimension hop with Chaos Control, that would be too overpowered.
Okay, then how did he get into the Moebius? Because isn't that what he did?
They explain that later, if you recall.
Do
There
they?
is actually an explanation.
Oh, it's something with gun, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Oh, right,
Okay.
right.
Okay. My bad. Okay. No plot holes. That's fine.
Oh, absolutely. There are tons of plot holes, but that wasn't one of them.
That's not
Okay.
one of them, yeah.
Well, anyway. Point is, Shadow's now stranded here, and he says, okay, well, you said you built that boat for Tails. Can you build me one? And then she's like, well, I took credit for it, but I didn't really do it.
And there's another meme.
Yep.
It's another meme face.
This is one of the most famous meme faces in the whole series.
Yep.
I think it speaks for itself, really.
It does. It's a good face.
It's wonderful.
Yeah. Well, and I especially like that these two drawings of Shadow making this face, they're not identical. Yardley drew it the exact same way twice on purpose.
That's good. I appreciate that.
On the second one, it looks like he gets even more grumpy.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's okay, though, because Blaze has a Chaos Emerald. How did she get that? Where did that come
because
from?
it was in the Soul Dimension from the Rush Adventure adaptation that was established. Johnny had it. The problem is they didn't explain how Johnny had it.
They didn't explain why Johnny had it, but they did also say the Sonic letter.
I guess they just went there after the last time Sonic went super, but they just went dimensions-wise instead of world-wise.
No, so the problem is we actually last saw this emerald in the special zone. So that's not it.
Wait, yeah, you're right, because Sonic and Tails ended up here before Enerjack happened. And maybe even, before... Was that before Adam happened, too?
No, it definitely was not before Adam happened.
Enerjack was post-Adam.
But then we did see it when Feist had them all when Sonic and Tails were getting that one, you're saying?
Yeah.
Right, that's how we knew... That's where we last saw it. The explanation is pretty simple. Johnny just went in a special stage and got it.
Sure, why not?
But yeesh. Whew. Anyway, Shadow and Blaze seem to get along okay, so that's kind of neat. But now Shadow sets out for home.
I can see those two getting along.
They're both pretty no-nonsense, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
But yes, he returns to Gun HQ, where we see their portal to the special zone, and yeah, that sure didn't happen. But it was built by Hope! So,
yeah.
She has indeed gotten up to some stuff with Gun.
Cool.
And hey, meet Commander Abraham Tower, the gun commander from Shadow the Hedgehog.
Yeah, this is our I think, our first time seeing him in the comic.
Yep. And
So-
I hadn't thought about that.
this is the first time he was ever given a name, and that made it back into the main canon over a decade after this.
Yeah.
That's insane. I had no idea that their official name originated in the Archie comics.
Mhm.
That's wild.
Yep.
Yeah.
And in these comics, he is just a commander. He does not. I don't think he has any previous trauma with Shadow or Maria.
That makes sense. They're gonna have him working with Shadow.
Not that I'm really asking for that anyway.
No.
Well, it does leave them as a little bit of a blank slate. So, like, I don't know what to think about them. I'll see, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, you don't need them to necessarily be a anything more, because I don't necessarily need him to be that big a part of the series.
Sure.
Well, you bothered to introduce them. It's like when you bring in a game character, I expect some degree of focus at least at the start. But whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, we'll have more Sonic Universe issues after this, but anyway. So, Shadow has completed his mission, but his job's not actually over for the day. But we won't see that this week. But hey, off panels are back, and they're funny now.
Oh, I didn't read this.
Yeah, I ignored it because we didn't do the other ones.
Well, so we didn't back when they were
I
just making
skipped
fun of
over
the
it.
editor, but they're not that anymore. That's the nice thing.
I didn't even acknowledge its existence. I completely skipped over it.
Ah, you bastards. I
Look,
wrote a
we
note on
have-
every single one.
Oh,
You're
damn.
calling me a jerk? But we didn't. You ignored the other ones. Look, we need to have a bonus episode that covers all off panels now.
Honestly, actually, I feel like that's not a bad idea.
Okay, you're in charge of tracking down which comics have them then. But,
I'm sure there's a collection somewhere.
There probably is, yeah.
there might be. I don't know. Alright, well, I guess if that's the case, then I will not talk about this one. Moving along, our last issue for the night. This is
Right.
Sonic the Hedgehog number 198.
Fire.
And we kind of have to. It's like, for most of the Sonic Universe issues, we're going to cover the entire arc straight in a row.
Right.
But Universes 2 through 4 have to take place directly after this, and there's a reason they can't go any sooner.
Okay.
So, yes, we are going to fight that Egg Phoenix we saw. And,
Fire.
well, the story here is named after... This is a Final Fantasy reference, right? Phoenix Down?
Yeah.
Is it called Phoenix? Yeah, it is. I didn't know it's down. I don't look at the titles of them very often.
Alright. Well, written by Flynn, we have another Yardley layout someone else pencil story. It's Renee DeLiz, and this is the only issue they worked on, so...
Okay,
Yeah.
I was wondering why the art seemed a little off. I didn't notice that Yardley was only on the layouts.
Yeah, this is a very unique looking issue. I wouldn't call it terrible, but it is strange.
No,
at
it's
points.
not bad. It's just it's off. I've very much gotten used to Yardley's work.
Yeah. But the
I like
heroes push their invasion into New Megaopolis as Dr. Eggman slowly loses composure, and the Dark Egg Legion struggles to hold a position. But can the Freedom Fighters survive their penultimate battle when it's covered in this much fire? So yes, we are pushing further and further into New Megaopolis. We are really sort of reclaiming territory a lot now.
We are, yeah.
Rotor is driving the Jeep here at the start, and then he just kind of disappears until, like, the very end of the comic.
Well, they're not.
I know he's not a fighter,
One
but
hit
it's
in the
like,
action,
you don't even
yeah.
see him in the
Yeah, I
background.
mean,
It's weird.
That's the thing, yeah. If they're not a fighter, a lot of the time they're just not really important for these comics.
But we've got some Legion to fight, so we got to stop to hold our ground against them, basically.
Yeah.
I do like that. Leonda, she's lured into a false sense of security. She's like, oh, they're stopping. They're just holding their ground now. That means that we can advance. We have time. We're finally going to be able to win a fight. And then the Chaotix show up from behind and stomp their asses.
Oh, don't forget, it starts off with one of the Legionnaires saying, "The blue hedgehog's making faces at us, ma'am," and then they get flanked.
Yeah. So, good strategy on the hero's part, apparently. Or Leon Dodge just being uniquely not suited to actually lead anything. I guess it can be both.
Yeah, porque lo nos dos.
So she turns around to deal with them, and turns her back to Sonic. So she totally loses sight of the Freedom Fighters and gets stomped by them.
Oh, it's wonderful.
She really
It is
doesn't know what she's
wonderful.
doing. Antoine gets the drop on her and cuts her whip.
Damn. I
mean-
was gonna say, when Antoine gets drop on you, but Antoine's cool now. He's
Listen-
Yeah, I was
listen.
gonna say that's actually like that's no shame on Leon Da. Actually,
no, that's no shame anymore. He's
We-
just Antoine is cool.
We love Antoine, but let's be honest, this does show she's not cut out for, like, main villain tier, is she?
Oh God, no.
Oh no, well, yeah, she's not in her element at all. No,
No, she should be
I
scheming
like
behind closed doors.
I like how bad a time Leanda is having here.
Yeah.
Weird line in the middle of this when Leanda's like, "I won't be embarrassed by a base Mobian like you." Huh? What? Is
What?
is that a thing? Is that a character trait of Leanda that's like racist against non-cyborgs? Huh?
Yeah.
I mean,
What?
all the Legion kind of are. It's just a weird way of phrasing it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they've always been, techno-supremacists to some degree.
Yeah, but I've never gotten the impression. I don't know. I feel like they've never just outright said it. Have they?
I think just base Mobian is just weird phrase. If she had said organic, I wouldn't even have blinked
Yeah,
an eye.
if they called them like a Ganic or something. I play enough Cyberpunk to hear to know the term Ganic.
Ganic?
Yeah, Ganic.
Ganic the Hedgehog?
Oh, my favorite Sonic OC.
I don't know. Part of this is that the Dark Legion, I think they want them to be like the Borg, but they all have individuality, so.
Yeah, they do kind of feel like they're supposed to be the Borg without actually being the Borg.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, you say they have individuality, but like actually they are just a bunch of faceless goons at the end of the day. Like you
Well,
don't
yeah,
actually
but
see
like
that.
they're supposed to have individuality.
Will
I will say I hate that the Dark Legion are just like they're the weird red mask thing still like in the
Yeah, I feel
cloaks.
like
They haven't fixed that after all this time.
okay, but here's the thing: it'll just be a bunch of red echidnas still. We have enough red echidnas.
Well, you can see on this page where Leondaw's running away. There's one dude where you can see his nose sticking out of the mask, and it's still red. So it's like, how does that even work?
Nanomachines, son.
Oh,
You
okay,
know what?
that
Sure.
explains it.
Charmy Tracker number 4. He's excited to see the enemy are in retreat. Totally normal.
Yeah.
Sally calls the other freedom fighters to their position. They're going to be pushing further. Dimitri, we cut to Eggman's base, and Dimitri says, you need to get them some Badnik support. But Enerjack destroyed all of them, so
And
he's
Eggman
taken.
is still not building new badniks because cuckoo.
Yeah, he's just focusing on fighting Sonic himself. He's taken the Phoenix
Right.
out all on his own. He's got a scarf. Have we seen the scarf? I feel like we've seen the scarf.
I think we've.
I
seen
believe
it
they
once.
had it at least one other time. Yeah,
All right.
it's good though. I like it.
Oh yeah, we like the scarf.
When he goes out with the scarf.
Yeah. So the Legion form a defense perimeter and open fire on the heroes, or they would if Tails hadn't set up an EMP to disable their weapons.
Nice.
So
Nice,
yeah, they keep making fools of the Legion. They're really the most. They're the most chopped group in the comics at this point.
It's odd. It feels like when they joined the Egg Empire, they should have at least gotten a little cooler, or at least like not been completely even more useless.
Yeah, they've gotten significantly weaker with Eggman.
Yeah, if anything, they should have stayed a separate entity and just bided their time.
Ah, but you see, then
I
we
think
couldn't
that's
have
the
been
point.
cyborgs.
Oh my
Yeah, that's the
God.
point. Is they were so
I
focused on
know.
that they would sabotage their own group,
I
and now they're
guess.
stuck here because bomb implants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and Knucklejack wanted them to stay with the other echidnas, which probably would have been better for them.
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
Yeah. But Sally calls for a peaceful surrender from the Legion. They don't get a chance to answer, though, because Eggman's here. He ain't having that shit.
Yeah, either Sonic's dead or everyone is dead.
Yeah, the Legion is retreating because they have to get out of the way of overwhelming amounts of fire. There is so much fire everywhere.
Yeah.
The freedom fighters also need to run away, so it's like, yeah, just get the hell out. I like Snively and Dimitri watching this like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I absolutely love the way that Snively is drawn here. It's
Oh yeah.
It's very good. They look all gross and weird, and I love I love when Dimitri shoves against their nose. That panel at the bottom is great.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and this scene is pretty good too, because Dimitri is like, oh god, he's gonna kill my fucking guys. And Snively's like, who cares? And then Dimitri's like, well, you should care, because I know about your little girlfriend.
Yeah.
I could tell on you, and I could bring your whole thing crashing down. Which is where that panel comes from. Dimitri looks pretty cool in this artist style, actually.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And Snively's like, well, hold on, man. We don't have to be enemies on this. We can both benefit from her arrival. And yeah, I'm kind of on your side, Lauren, but on the other hand, who cared about the original? So
I still have no idea who it is.
No,
Yeah,
you don't.
we'll see how it goes. It's all. You can do anything good and anything bad.
Yeah, you'll see next
It's
week, Bruce.
weird, but
Anyway, the Freedom Fighters are trying not to die. Tails and Knuckles don't know what to
Yeah.
do, but Sally is the good leader now, so she has an idea. Sonic acts as distraction, which is a good place for him because Eggman will always go for Sonic first.
Of course.
I
Vector,
love how giddy Sonic is to be bait. Like they're like, this is my most favorite plan ever. Like they're so excited.
yeah. Well, he does love trolling the Doctor.
He does,
True.
yeah.
So he gets Eggman to chase him. Vector grabs Sonic, throws him up in the air to Knuckles, and then Knuckles, who is gliding above, volleys him even further upward.
We're going back into space. We're doing a little Sonic act.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
he gets him to Tails, and then Tails follows him up even further to Bunny, who throws him so high that the sky starts to turn black because we're in low orbit.
Good thing Sonic characters can breathe in space.
Yeah.
But apparently planes don't operate in space.
Yeah.
I guess sure, why not?
Well, so I don't know if it's the space that does that. It's that flying straight up causes the engine to stall out.
Yeah, that's
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And Sonic says, "Dude, you're supposed to be a genius." And Eggman, he doesn't have a pithy rebuttal. It's just, "I'll burn you. I'll burn all of you."
pizza.
It's like fucking Flame Hyenard from Mega Man X7, burned to the ground. Yeah, the flying members of the Chaotix plant Tails's neutralizer mines, I think they call them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Eggman gets
and,
the thing started up again.
Wait, you missed there's another charmy watch here.
There is a charmy
Oh yeah,
watch
he says
thing
it's
here.
like planting flowers.
Which
Yeah,
is also
actually,
fine.
that's twice now. So I'm afraid actually I have to agree. Not that it's like it's not annoying or weird. Honestly, it's fine. But it
Yeah.
is true that they have changed, and
Maybe a
He is
little
different.
bit.
It's
but
apparent.
Not a little bit, but not
Just
like
not
a
that
ton.
apparent. It's not a big deal, is what that's my
Yeah.
point
Yeah.
largely. Anywho, so they plant the mines. Eggman gets the engine going again. But this time, he is not throwing fire. He is doing an "if I can't have this city, nobody can," and just trying to ram Sally and Tails with it.
Yes.
But Tails activates the mines, and they do their job, which is Eggman flies past them and into the cliff face. And yeah, he's just reduced to stammering and growling at this defeat.
Yeah, this is definitely the Eggman's really losing it now.
Yeah. Well, it's like I think in some of the games, like from Unleashed to Colors, you get a little bit of that where he's like getting
little
more and more
bit.
frustrated.
Sure.
But that doesn't really go anywhere until they fucking soft reset with Forces and Frontiers to some extent. But anyway, he eject pods out of there and detonates the mech to singe Sonic a little as he goes. I do like that part.
Yep.
And yeah, the battle is won. The heroes are right up against, you can see the Egg Dome is pretty close now. So we set up camp. Rotor has a special shield generator to protect against attacks overnight.
Okay, so like this seems needlessly risky. Like, why are they like, okay, well, like, it's late, so I guess let's set up camp right here instead of like doubling back and coming back later. Why?
This is a weird thing because it makes the implication that Mobotropolis and Megapolis are further apart than they are. I guess they've never really had to ferry all of the Freedom Fighters and Chaotix at once over there. It's mostly just been Sonic and whoever's with him.
Right.
So, presumably they can't go back because it's too far.
So, yeah, I didn't get the impression at all that they were very far apart because, like, in the Mogul issue, Mighty was able to make it all the way there by walking in a time frame where Tails hadn't like exhausted themselves from flying straight up. So yeah, that really doesn't add up with
That's
what
a
we've
good
seen, I don't
point.
think.
Yeah, it is weird. It's not a super huge deal because if they did, there wouldn't really be that much difference anyway, but yeah, it is weird. Sonic and Tails do get a nice little scene here at least. I like that they're, we're assaulting the base tomorrow and it's like, oh, one way or another, it'll be the end of the war. Ominous.
Yeah.
But I like Sonic being a big brother reassuring Tails.
Yeah.
Eggman is gearing up too, though. He's so mad he gets the Dark Legion's name wrong.
Yeah.
But Stively and Dimitri, they don't mind. They're ready for his plan to fail. And yeah, that's where it ends. It's like you can tell it's like they want this to have a sense of gravitas, but there's also this very lingering acknowledgement. No matter what happens tomorrow, it's not actually over.
No, not yet.
And it's almost an inverse of number 50 when I think about it, because the Ultimate Annihilator plan was threatening at first, but after the heroes won, you learn there was kind of a comical number of things working against Robotnik, because
Yeah,
Snively had
there
sabotaged it, Antoine and Bunny had sabotaged it in a different way, fucking yeah. But now we've got the inverse where they're drawing attention to how Eggman is definitely going to lose, but you can already see his replacements brewing in the background.
Right.
That is very interesting when you put it that way. That's kind of neat. That's a cool contrast.
Yeah. But that is going to wait for next time, and even then, next time we got to deal with some more Shadow stuff first. So yeah, that's tonight's issues. I think honestly, this last one was probably the best one. I think we had another upward trajectory where we started with the worst and worked our way up to the best.
Maybe, yeah.
So.
Hedgehog Havoc is just it's fan service is what it is.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then the No Zone issue is all right. It certainly gave us a lot to talk about, but I don't know how I feel about that. It's really weird.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan, but at least it means Scourge is gone for now. Good.
Yeah.
I got a little bored of him.
That's
fair. It was a little much on Scourge.
Yeah.
Shadow in the Sol Zone, it was dumb how we got there, but once we were there, it was fine, I suppose.
It was mostly fine, yeah.
Yeah.
The Metal Sonic stuff is still really weird, but yeah. And then I don't have any major complaints about the Phoenix issue. I thought it was a pretty straightforwardly fun fight.
Yeah, it was fine.
Yeah, no, it's kind of just a back to basics thing, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yep. So, next time on Deep Dive Zone, we will indeed see the end of the war and the rise of something new. And also some more Shadow stuff. But with all that said, that is where we are done for tonight. So, thank you to my lovely co-hosts for being here. Thank you to all of our lovely viewers for watching. If you like this video, please feel free to share, like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any questions, comments, criticisms, suggestions, or feedback, you can reach us at any of the links in the link tree in the description. I hope you have a great rest of your week. We will see you next week for another exciting episode. I hope you have a great rest of your night, and take care.